Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is the long anticipated video, my top 9 benefits on carnivore. So I've been on this diet, on this way of eating, this lifestyle, this beautiful lifestyle for almost 3 years. It will be 3 years in April of 2022. So with any positives, there's always negatives, the duality and the balance of everything. So I'm going to start off by briefly touching on the very few negative experiences that I had. Although they were there, they were few, and in comparison to the benefits, they don't even really count in my opinion, but I still think it's worth mentioning. Okay, so the single worst experience that I had while I went on the carnivore diet was during the first month transition. I had frequent trips to the bathroom. So my body, if you've seen my last video of my 1 month carnivore diet experience, you'll see that I had a difficult transition into my body becoming fat adapted. So I dealt with a lot of diarrhea, no fun. But other than that, I don't really have any other negative experiences. My health did improve. One thing that did happen to me, which I fixed with the help of the carnivore community online, that's why I think it's so important to join these carnivore groups. Big shout out to the Women's Carnivore group on Facebook and the World Carnivore Tribe on Facebook. What happened to me was 3 months into the carnivore diet, I didn't get my period and I freaked out. Naturally, I was scared, right? Because I know as a female, having your period is a really good indicator of how your health is doing. And I remember thinking to myself, man, I'm loving how this diet is going, this new lifestyle, how I feel, everything's great, but I don't have a period. So I went on the carnivore groups on Facebook and I poured out my heart. I told everyone what I was going through, and immediately everyone told me, you're not eating enough fat, you're not eating enough fat, increase your fat, and also, are you eating enough during the day? I was eating a steak in the morning and a steak at night. So what I did was immediately I ordered fat from my butcher. Like I got a big kind of frozen brick of it and I chopped it up in little pieces and put it in individual bags, and then I would just fry some up in a frying pan. Now I use a Ninja Foodie for that. I have a recipe, I'll put it in the description below, how to fry up beef fat bites if you're interested. But I immediately started adding little fat bites to my steaks, and also I started to have salmon in the middle of the day. So I increased my food and increased my fat. And I kid you not, a miracle happened 12 days after I posted on Facebook. I got my period 12 days after. So everyone was right. Increasing the fat was all I needed to do. So do I really see not having my period for 3 months as a negative thing? No, because I was able to resolve it quickly by increasing my fat. My body probably went through a lot of stress at the beginning. It's normal. I had been eating a high carb diet for like 26 years of my life, so that's expected. So the 3 months was just like my body being like, whoa, what's going on? But increasing the fat and eating a little bit more food did the trick. So that's really my negative experience with it. All right, so let's get into the actual benefits that I've experienced while going carnivore during this entire process up until now. I do have to add that doing the 1 month, what started as a 1 month carnivore challenge, was the biggest challenge of my life. It is not easy to go through something like this. And the way that I committed to it fully. But I had a lot of unlearning to do. And I think what helped me on my journey, what helped me stick to it and commit and find the willpower, was the fact that I I had this inner burning desire to seek knowledge. And I found a couple of mentors along the way that I really looked up to, and I educated myself along the process, which helped me to understand my why and to fully understand why I want to keep doing this. Beyond just feeling good, it was bigger than that to me. I really do feel like I had, and I still feel this way, like I've uncovered a hidden truth. Okay, I'm gonna stop babbling. Let's get into the number one benefit that I've experienced on the carnivore diet, and that is hair growth. So if you guys have been following me, you'll know that I was losing my hair faster than you could count to 10. I was on the verge of going bald. I was considering getting a wig. And if you've seen me in my Carnivore Roundtable podcast episode, or in some of my earlier episodes that I've done on this channel, I have 2 hair videos, one from 4 months ago and then one from 1 month ago, an update. I discuss in those videos that I was rapidly losing hair, and I think it could be due to lifestyle factors. I was at one point in my life smoking cigarettes, drinking a lot of wine, and I was also prioritizing plant protein. I had gone vegan at one point, and I was really decreasing my meat consumption. So losing your hair by the time you're 24, 25, it's no fun. My hair loss journey happened kind of slowly, and most of my hair loss was concentrated on this part here. So the hair parts like this, and then for most women, if you notice, because I started looking around and seeing it everywhere, like kind of like this was like a major problem in North America from what I witnessed. So the hair parts here and then here, I was losing more and more hair to the point where I had to like try to cover it up on my own. I would like comb my hair and wear it down and then hairspray so that this part would stay put, like kind of like a comb over, but like in the back end, if you know what I mean. I'll show you. I wear my hair up because it's just I wear it loose in a clip. It's just comfortable for me. It's at an awkward length right now, but I'll show you guys what my hair looks like now. It's thick. I've never had hair like this before. I don't have before pictures of when my hair was thinning because I didn't take photos or selfies of myself. It was very difficult to lose my hair. I had hair below here, so I had hair like up to here, super long hair, and it stripped my feminine identity from me, losing that much hair all at once. And eventually what I did was I just cut it short because it was so obvious that it was thinning when it was long. And I said, you know what, maybe if I just cut it, I could, hide it a little bit more. But this is what it looks like now. If you watch my other hair videos, you'll see that these are new, these little baby hairs in the front. It's kind of straight right now, but it's got a little curl in the back. It's doing its thing, and I'm loving it, and I'm just embracing every moment. But I guess what I wanted to let you guys know is that the hair growth started towards the end of month 1 on Carnivore for me. I immediately noticed little baby hairs up here, little tiny spiky hairs, and I wasn't sure what it was at first. It kind of looked like split ends or like ripped hairs, but I went to my hairdresser and he was like, whoa, you have so much baby hair growing on the top of your head. What's going on? So that's my one improvement on the carnivore diet. Now let's go on to number 2. The second benefit that I felt on carnivore, and mind you, this is not in any chronological order, I'm just shooting them out there. The second benefit is no more bloating. I didn't experience a whole lot of weight loss. I didn't have a lot to lose to begin with, but I was always bloated no matter what I tried to do. I tried to be healthy. I really, really did, but I always found myself bloated. I had what you see those influencers on Instagram showing that it's okay to have a food baby. Well, I'm here to tell you it's not. That is your stomach, your intestines, your digestion system crying out for help. It is not normal to be bloated, at least not the way that I was. So with the carnivore diet, I found, and I still do find, that I do not bloat. I have a flat tummy. The third major health improvement that I have experienced is clear skin. So I had, typical acne journey growing up, the like massive cystic pimples when you're in high school that, appear right before prom. I'm sure you've all been through that. But my acne journey started around 2017, around the time that I started to prioritize plants. Loading up on the smoothies, smoothie for breakfast, smoothie for lunch, sometimes smoothie for dinner, lots of salads. And the reason I say this is because I remember being so confused why I was getting pimples. I'm eating so well, I'm so healthy. So my pimples were mostly here on the cheeks and here on my jawline and neck. And that started out of nowhere. And I think within the first 2-3 months, all gone. And I'm gonna come close so you guys can see my skin. I don't wear makeup anymore, no foundation at all. This is my skin. It's not perfect. I have pores. You can see my pores, but I don't have acne. I'm not wearing any makeup. All natural. That's it. And what do that I attribute that to? Beef broth, collagen, gelatin, the most fattiest cuts of meat, egg yolks, raw cheese, eat it all. Actually, raw cheese at first gave me pimples. So I couldn't tolerate at first. So I don't want to spread, give bad advice. Use your own discretion. Now I can eat raw cheese. I like cannot get a pimple anymore. It's weird. Even if I wanted to get one, I can't. If I eat something that's processed, I'm sure I would get a pimple, but I have not eaten anything processed in almost 3 years. So proud of that, by the way. Oh, and also when it comes to skincare, I used to be the biggest like skincare guru fanatic. I was on Sephora's VIB list. So that means that I spent a lot of money at Sephora. I had the most expensive skincare products, the most expensive masks, lotions, serums, toners, you name it. And maybe that was also a reason why my skin was not good. I'm not sure. Maybe that's why I struggled with acne. Maybe the chemicals in those products were not reacting well. Well, I just want you to know that my skincare routine right now is so, so simple. I wash my face once a day, and that's at night. I don't wash my face in the morning. I leave those healthy oils on my skin throughout the day. And when I do use a moisturizer, which is not every day, I use beef tallow. That's beef fat. And this is what my skin looks like. I'm honestly pretty proud. I'm 29 years old. I'm almost 30. I do have some fine lines. Do I care? No, I don't. Because I laugh a lot. And that's why they're there. And I'm going to embrace them. I'm really, really working on undoing a lot of these this programming that we have to put us down, to make us feel like we're not good enough. I don't want any of that, and I don't want that for you either. So if we can have beautiful, glowing skin from the foods that we nourish our bodies with, I'm rooting for that all the way. The fourth improvement on the carnivore diet for me has been my oral hygiene. I used to go to the dentist twice a year, maybe once a year at minimum for a tooth cleaning. Now I just do it myself. I have the tools that I need. I bought that little kit, like the scraper and everything, and I find that I don't need to do it. I don't have plaque anymore. Before, it's kind of gonna sound a little bit gross, but I remember being able to like scratch my tooth and then I'd have like residue on my fingernail. That does not happen anymore. I don't have inflamed gums anymore. I don't have plaque residue. I do not have tooth sensitivity. I remember at one point I wasn't able to eat really cold things like ice cream or really hot things like a hot chocolate. I would immediately have this tooth sensitivity. I don't have that with meat. So it's really, really fascinating because I used to be so dependent on going to the dentist. Mind you, I am lucky that I'm young, fairly young, so I don't have any underlying dental conditions. If I did, maybe it'd be a different story. But so far, I'm good to go. I clean my own teeth, so does Danny. And I get compliments on my teeth all the time. I'm going to share with you guys a little story about Daniel. I know he's not in this video and it's supposed to be about my benefits, but I was with him alongside his journey. And within the first 2 months of Carnivore, I remember we went to see my mom, and the first thing that she said to Danny when she saw his teeth, she was like, "Oh my God, your teeth look bigger." And we kind of looked at his teeth and we realized that for such a long time, he had his swelling of the gums and that had completely gone away. It's like, it just kind of like retracted, like what his gums were like just not inflamed anymore, which was wonderful. Um, if I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys, my teeth issues come back when I fall off the wagon and I stop eating carnivore. I've never stopped eating carnivore completely, but I have reintroduced a few things here and there. At one time, we were at a friend's house and they offered some papaya and it's called ceremonial cacao. It's like real cacao and they put a lot of honey in it. And you know what? I was like, all right, you know what? I'm really healthy 99% of the time. What's this 1% gonna do to me? Well, what happened was the next day I woke up with like extreme tooth pain in my wisdom tooth because I still have my wisdom teeth. This pain lasted for 4 days and it kind of went all the way down here. I could feel it pulsating. It was bad. So that was a huge wake up call to me. It again reaffirmed the power of animal based healing. What did I do? I made chicken broth. I got some raw butter and I would chew on the raw butter, and I kid you not, within 48 hours, I already started to feel better. Do I have any issues? No. So I'm very careful now, very mindful when I reintroduce fruits, just a tiny little bit. And how often? I don't know, maybe once every 2 months, maybe once a month, if that. It's just not worth it for me. I feel my optimal, my absolute best when I'm eating animal based. I've tried it. I've tried the other side. And yes, it's awesome. It's yummy. Fruits are amazing. So is honey, and I can have it once in a while. But do I need it? No. Is it a treat? Absolutely. So in terms of my dental hygiene is 100 when I'm eating carnivore. Okie dokie. So carnivore benefit number 5 is my focus and my energy. Did you ever live in a fog without knowing that you were living under a fog? Well, I did. And it took trying the carnivore diet to wake me out of my slumber and make me realize that I wasn't living life to my truest potential. And to be honest with you, it was to no fault of my own. I was just doing what I thought I was supposed to be doing, eating the foods that I thought were healthy, but I hadn't realized that I could feel so much better, that I could have so much more energy, that my mind could be opened up. And it sounds kind of like woo woo, okay, sure that a diet could do that. But of course it can. You guys, you have to think about it. When someone suffers from mental health challenges, or someone has debilitating back pain and they take a pill, a painkiller, an antidepressant, let's say it's 120 milligrams, they take it every day, right? And it makes a difference, maybe for the most part, for some people. Takes the pain away, makes you feel a little bit less depressed. Well, what about the kilograms of food that we're ingesting every day? You think that doesn't make a difference? It absolutely 100% does. And the gut and the brain connection, you cannot refute that. They're so interconnected. And I think this is the most wonderful thing. One of the most wonderful things about the carnivore diet is the energy and the focus and the mental clarity that it's given me. I have a consistent level of energy. Uh, Before this way of eating, I used to nap all the time. I would nap after work, or I would nap after meals. Now, the only time I nap is around the time of my menstrual cycle. I'm a little bit more tired naturally. I feel the need to rest. I listen to my body. But I don't nap anymore because of the food that I'm eating. And I used to think that was super normal. I almost like looked forward to eating and then taking a nap after. But I now realize, after zooming out a little bit, that's not normal. Food's supposed to nourish you, to invigorate you, to give you energy. So that's my personal take on that. Benefit number 6. I no longer have painful periods. So that time of the month used to be very dreadful for me. I was lucky enough always that I never had cramps for the entire time or for like 3-4 days. But the first 2 days, specifically the first day, it's a write-off. I used to have debilitating cramps. Just terrible, terrible cramps. And around the 4th or 5th month on carnivore, that all stopped. And I realized the connection between how and what you're nourishing your body with and your menstrual cycle. If I eat off track now, and off track really just means a little bit too much plantain, papaya, squash, or pumpkin, I will get cramps. It's fascinating to me. If I stick to more meat-based, no cramps. Very, very easy flow. Sorry if it's a little bit too much info for the men out here, but there's no shame here. This month, my menstrual cycle was easy peasy. Absolutely just the slightest little cramps just to let me know it's here, and that's it. And I love that. It shouldn't be like a treacherous, dreadful time of the month. And I think that we've normalized that so much as a culture. And at the same time, as painful as it is, and as treacherous as it is, and as unpleasant as it is, as women, we're still forced or expected to go on about our daily lives as if we're not dealing with like little elves scraping away at our insides. So I just want you ladies to know, if you're listening to this and you're curious about trying carnivore or going animal based, increasing your meat consumption as a means to maybe stop menstrual cramps or reduce them, this is the way to go. Periods do not have to be a time of suffering. They can actually be beautiful. And I've been learning that the last half year or so. It can be a time of where you retract yourself and you reflect and you're not in pain. It can be beautiful. It can just increase those animal protein. Benefit number 7 is not something that I've experienced, but I need to mention it. Within 1 month of the carnivore diet, Danny reversed his asthma. So he had about 5 different puffers that he was using, and he also had allergies. Allergies. I put that in quotation marks because our whole lives we're told that there's the pollen in the air and it's fall or it's summer and it's allergy season. From Danny's personal experience and what I have witnessed being his partner for the last almost 10 years, it's not it's not seasonal. It's the food that you're consuming. It's the foods that we're consuming that cause these allergy flare-ups. So Danny would have literally for like the last 6, 7 years, water running down his nose. Out of nowhere, allergies. And he would always put like little tissues up his nose and like sleep with the tissues there. And I it was honestly unbearable to watch. I felt so bad for him. It was not pleasant. Imagine like not being able to breathe and there's just water running and not knowing what it's from and taking allergy medications. And then also at the same time dealing with asthma, having these like attacks where you're unable to breathe. I remember driving once and we had to pull over because he couldn't breathe, and we found like a paper bag in my car and he was breathing in it. So fast forward to 1 month carnivore, Danny has not needed to use puffers. We throw them out in the garbage. Allergies? What allergies? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Allergies are gone. Guess when the allergies come back? When he has a pizza, when he has ice cream, when he has the bad stuff, the allergies, they're all back. When do they go away? When he eats the meat. It's quite simple, really. I think we make it more complex than it needs to be. Stop feeding our bodies all the BS, and every problematic symptom will go away. Benefit number 8, no more stinky armpits. I used to be a very sweaty girl. This started in early high school, about grade 9. I would sweat so much, and I always thought it was genetics. I literally was the type of person that couldn't wear certain colors because I'd have like the pit stain, and I was so self-conscious of it. And then, you know, I'd find a really pretty dress that was a lighter color. And I'd be like, you know what, maybe I won't sweat. And then lo and behold, I go to the party and I'm like this all night trying to hide my sweat. I remember I went to like a drugstore and bought this, it was like this chemical storm of a product that you put on your armpits and it like blocks the sweating, and it worked for some time, but don't ask me to recite what those ingredients were because it hurts my soul. Being such a like specific ingredient freak right now, I can't even think about the torment that I put my body through trying to like stop the sweating instead of actually looking at what the root cause was, which is probably my hormones, and food affects your hormones. So very interesting that now that I'm on the carnivore diet, I no longer sweat like a beast and my sweat does not smell bad. If I'm going to be transparent with you, which I always am, my sweat smells bad when I'm really stressed and when I'm drinking too much coffee and that cortisol is up. So those are indicators that I'm not doing something right and something's got to change. But it's no longer like an everyday thing where I'm sweating, smelling, scared. That doesn't happen anymore. That's a thing of the past. Okay, guys, if you've reached up to this part, you are at number 9. Benefit number 9 is reaching a true state of calmness. Yes, the meat did that. The meat made me calm. I've always been a naturally high-strung, stressed out kind of person, and I do feel that almost reaching 3 years animal-based, I've changed a lot. And I do attribute that to consuming animal products and also specifically to removing all of the other processed man-made foods from my diet. That is not food, and we should not be calling those things food. Once I got my energy and my focus back, I also got this sense of calmness. Everything in my life became clearer. My goals, what I wanted to do with my life on a professional level, on a personal level, my relationships, my intimate relationships, my love for Danny grew, and his love for me grew the same. Right, Danny?
Yep.
Maybe he'll do his own video just on that. No, but really though, our love grew so much. We've been together for some time. Like, I believe we were maybe at like the 8-year mark when we started Carnivore. We're pushing on 11 years. A love grew at the 8-year mark. I don't know how that's possible, except with when you're really, really like content, at peace. And I do believe that the meat diet started that for us. I was able to appreciate a lot of things about Danny. I was able to appreciate a lot of things about our relationship. I was able to have a better understanding of our relationship. And not only my relationship with him, my relationship with my mother, my relationship with my father. I was also tested a lot during this way of eating because it's very confronting. You can't really eat with your family members anymore, or at least you can't share the same food. So it tests your patience and it tests your communication skills with others. How are you going to handle it? How are you not going to take this personally? How are you going to communicate this in the best way possible that maybe you can turn on a light switch in their head without being too confronting, too imposing? So these are all skills that I find I have drastically improved thanks to the carnivore diet. So with this calmness, which I think is such a huge, huge benefit that kind of just spiraled into all these awesome other things that I've learned, came an overall sense of awareness. I think it's so powerful that I was able to see that what I put in my mouth is supposed to nourish me, to fuel me, to heal me, to propel me forward. So what was I doing before that? I genuinely think that I was poisoning myself without knowing. I had good intentions, but I wasn't feeling good. And especially this part, you know, you really, really gotta be honest with yourself and take a look at the score of your life and how is it going? Is the food that you're eating actually making you feel good? Give it 6 months, give it 12 months, give it 2 years. But after that, I mean, if you're not seeing benefits within the first 3 months, I'd say you really, really need to switch something up. Because food, when it's fuel, you'll feel it right away. I can confidently say that when I discovered the carnivore diet is the moment that I finally gained the level of awareness to begin doing the self-work that we all have to do on ourselves. We all have to unlearn some bad habits, some terrible thinking patterns, reprogram the mind a little bit. And I really, really think there was like a blockage. And until I discovered an animal-based way of life, I wasn't ready to do that work. And now I am. And I do have to say that life has been awesome in these last 3 years. I have been presented with the most amazing challenge almost 3 years ago, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm so lucky and I'm so grateful to know that meat heals. Remain open-minded, and I challenge you to dive into the unknown. And if something is scary, but it piques your interest and you see, how it's helped others around you, go for it. Try something new, challenge yourself. 30 days, increase your meat intake and see how much better you'll feel. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video of my top 9 carnivore benefits. These have been life-changing for me, and I hope that you learned something new today. Please leave a comment in the description, in the comment box below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what kind of benefits you've experienced, and I hope you enjoyed these 2 videos on the screen. See you guys next week. Bye.